Hi, I'm Vince, and welcome back to our channel. I'm continuing today to show us how I've finished attaching this shelf, this backbone it might be. I've screwed and JB welded it to the body. I've also JB welded it to the body down here and here, and I had to make a little return because I needed a front support because there will also be a door here. So the next thing I did was we wanted to figure out where the coffee pot would sit. So I cut out a piece of cardboard. Tammy picked out some walnut, the designer, for the finished material. But we made it out of wood. Of course, I did the same thing with this one. First, I made a cardboard template because of the hump. I've cheated myself a little bit. I did it on purpose. But it lets me slide right over the hump, and it keeps everything nice and straight. I used Reflectix that I bought from Lowe's. I sprayed adhesive and glued it to the exterior walls. I want to make sure that the compartments are insulated so they don't get hot from just the sun being on the car. This is the outside of the car. So I wanted to create a way to use this speaker hole. So I made it out of cardboard. Then I made it out of wood. I made a little door and glued the two pieces to create a slide. The walnut handle, I took a piece of the raw walnut, used a Dremel with I believe it's called a rotary burr. And I just kind of carved it out the end of a piece of wood and then just sawed it off afterwards. Glued that onto so it's pretty simple. It's just a simple little, it's curved like that because when the door closes, that will be the stop, and you want to have room for your fingers to grab it. And then when it goes all the way open, it'll be the stop at that end. So it serves two purposes. It's a stop and it's a handle. So that will be attached onto the wall. Then we moved up to here. The designer, Tammy, picked out peel and stick. It's a very thin backsplash material that's designed, you just peel off the back. And so she wanted this material as the backsplash behind the coffee maker. So what I did, I took a first I made this piece of wood that fit the hole. It has to have a plug for the coffee maker.
It's a little bit too shiny.
Too shiny.
Okay, there you go.
Is that better?
It's still a little bit shiny. There you go. That's better. They can kind of see the pattern that way. There you go.
This switch and this light this is my Jupiter inverter. When you use the inverter, you have to turn it on. So I'm putting the inverter in a place that I won't have access to. So I cut the wires to the switch and to the light that used to come through the front. Made those same holes in my material, and I will just be able to simply solder wires. I left enough, if you look at the back, I left enough wire so I know the color code to each wire and where it goes to the inverter. So I will make extension wires that reconnect. It's all gonna fall down. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out, the way I was able to cut all this is a very fragile, thin material. The way I was able to cut all of it out is I used a Dremel with this very thin, it's called a cutoff blade. And you can buy the cutoff blades in packs of, at this time they had 36 in a pack. They're pretty fragile, they bust easy, but for something like this, I had to be very precise about all the holes there couldn't be. So this thing worked amazing. Without this, I couldn't have done it. It's a favorite tool of mine, and for people that have doubts about the ability of a Dremel, I watched a guy cut the bottom of a commercial steel door. He cut the bottom of a steel door off with this exact same setup. I'd never imagined that you could do that. It used a bunch of blades, but cost-wise, he didn't spend that much, and it did a great job. So don't underestimate the ability of a Dremel. I will put a link in the description for Dremels for people that do want to try it. The Dremel allowed me to do a really neat job with very little distortion at the edges. So that little cutoff blade really, for a material like this, I don't know how else I could have done it. So it goes right here. There'll be another piece that we'll do along that side. And this is the piece that I've pre-made. Can't hardly see it. It's all the way down the side. Yeah, it's kind of a tough thing to get. And I'm going to cut a large piece that goes all the way to the rubber. I'm going to go all the way to the rubber. I'm going to just attach it because I want this look to carry around the corner. I'll probably have to put a little piece of some sort of a cover up at the corner. I'll clean up all this edge. I'll be sanding and cleaning up all these edges. Back here, I've actually got, it's not the right angle to see it, but I've pre-made a piece that starts to create the compartment. The door will be clear plexiglass, 1/4 inch, and when we get back there, I'll probably the next video will show. I'll have the clear plexiglass made. I've got to do something across here. Something attaches off the aluminum to create my compartment. That's where we're at so far. Thanks for watching.